Welcome back to the Citizen Channel on a horse burned, as I always am when I've been to a match. But there you go. Good atmosphere yesterday, but we're not here to talk about that. We're talking player ratings, of course, in the company of the City's chief writer, Simon Bajkowski, this week. Yes, Mr. Joe Bray had the treat of going to the US, or reporting on the US. I don't know if he was there or not, not in this day and age. But yeah, Mr. Bajkowski's back. So we'll have a look at his ratings and my little thoughts and my little ratings as well. And there will be a sister show to this that's sort of put out 24, 48 hours after the game to sort of digest what's going on. This is like an immediate reaction without me watching the game back, etc., being there and watching it. So this is an immediate reaction to the player ratings and as what Simon Bajkowski does, which is only fair, isn't it? I'm going to go back and reflect and do a further show, which will talk about all the key talking points of the game. So join me for that as well when that's available. The Liverpool 3, Manchester City 1 talking points from the Community Shield, 30th of July 2022. King Power Stadium, of course, 5 p.m. kickoff. As I said, good atmosphere. City fans did really well considering the result. I thought we were excellent. Far better than we are when we go to Wembley, that's for sure. But smaller ground, more compact. A lot of the more regular away fans there, I would imagine as well. So understandable. There we go. So here we go. The City 11: Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Ake, Cancelo, Rodri, Bernardo, KDB, Grealish, Haaland, and Mahrez. Yes, I did all right, didn't I? I only got one wrong. 10. I got 10 out of 11. Gives a job, Pep. Are you after a number 2? I'm not too sure. But I did want to start Alvarez over Haaland. So, hey, I think I was pretty not far off the mark there, was the guys, with that team I predicted. Right, the ratings. Simon Bajkowski, as I said, the chief City writer for the M.E.N, and I'll add my little comments afterwards. Ederson couldn't do anything, said Simon, about the goal. No, not really. Saved well from Darwin Núñez, but his passing was sometimes lacking in accuracy. Yeah, not quite at it. It's hard. We can't play our normal passing game against Liverpool. They just have that ability that we can't. So it's no surprise. The save from Núñez was fine. He made himself big and it hit him, which is all he has to do. And he looked okay. Nothing wrong with it. Simon's given him a 6. I can't argue with that. That 6 is just the basic standard score, as you know, and I'll just give him a 6 for that performance yesterday. There are a few people who got a little bit less, there are a few people who got more. Kyle Walker, Simon said, a few strong bursts down his flank added to his usual composed performance at the back. Yeah, so Simon's gone a bit over the top of the 7. Yeah, I thought it was strong, efficient. It's not really the side Liverpool target, but obviously he did have enough to do. Going forward, perhaps he could have done better a couple of occasions, but yeah, it's our left-hand defensive side we worry about, especially when we've got someone like Salah over there. So, yeah, I thought it was strong and efficient. I'll give him a 6. I don't think it was quite worth a 7, as Simon says. On to Ruben Diaz, Simon said, some good blocks in the box, although the most important thing he did ahead of the new season was avoid injury. Well, you know, with our, obviously with Laporte out till at least September, could be longer, you never know. We've got to do that, haven't we? I do like Ake, and we can rely on Ake, of course we can, but yeah, Diaz has to stay fit this first few weeks of the season. That's an absolute must if Pep is not overly keen on playing stones. So yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that comment from Simon. He's given a 6. I give him a 6. Big, fairly effective. I think he was unlucky with the penalty. I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. We'll talk about a penalty decision that went against us as well in the sort of talking point blog that I do. But yeah, no, fine, all right. I'd say he just did what he expected him to do. Nathan Ake, Simon said, looked more unfortunate than culpable to glance Trent Alexander-Arnold's effort onto the post and in, and proved a handful with his physicality in both boxes. Yeah, so Simon's given him a 6. I've given him an extra half, guys. I thought, yeah, he was a couple of inches taller. He'd have deflected that for a corner, wouldn't he? But he's not. that's a picture. Like, he did his best. He got ahead on it. I scored a very similar goal at my lowest level for junior school. I remember when he glanced. I tried to put out a shot. I was probably about 12 yards out. He glanced off my head and went into the top far corner. But there you go. I wasn't very tall then either. But competent. I thought he was very competent. Never really looked comfortable. But who does against Liverpool? I don't think we ever defensively looked that ever on top against Liverpool. I think we always look a little bit uncomfortable. But he certainly did a better job than most. So I'm going to give him 6.5. I'll give an extra half a point. Cancelo, yeah, a few nice touches, but lots off the pace, said Simon, and struggled against Mohamed Salah. Who wouldn't? Albeit at least letting him through rather than diving in the box. But that's all right then, mate. You go through. Don't worry about it. I'll not give a penalty. You just go through and get a cross or a shot, and it's fine. Yeah. So, yeah. Simon said, "Book for dissent to top it off." Yeah. Simon's given him a 4. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go as low as that in a game like this. He probably, if it was a key game later in the season, yes, I'm not going to go. But I think that's a bit unfair giving a 4, Simon. So I'll give him a 5.5. I'll give him half a point less. If he's not defending or creating, I don't see the point in players like Cancelo. I've said that before. I'll keep saying it until the day I die, but it might be soon watching this lot. But yeah, I just don't see the point of it. I don't see the point of offensive defenders. I want a defender to defend if he's a defender, and I don't see the point of offensive defenders when it's not working and he's not creating or doing anything. So what's the point? And he was always going to struggle against a lively Salah. That's not rocket science. Pep probably knew that. Perhaps he needed a bit more backup, but we don't really play that way, do we? But yeah, so we'll see with Cancelo. It's a friendly, but yeah, it is what it is. I would love another defender to have been on the pitch yesterday, but we'll no doubt talk about that again in the future. Rodri giving extra support with Bernardo Silva alongside him and did what he was supposed to while seeing less of the ball than he normally would. So Simon's giving him a 6. Yeah, I thought it was just a stroll for Rodgers. I think Liverpool and every team that he can be his best against, I think they sort of bypass him most of the time. Unless he actively tries to get involved, I think he struggles against Liverpool's style of play. So I've just given him a 5.5 because it's not a disaster, but I just thought he didn't really add. We needed perhaps get up there for a couple of set pieces. We didn't have that many, did we? Use his head to prove a little bit more in that when he's having a quieter game. Go and have a go. Go and have a go. You're a big lad. Go and have a go in the box, sort of thing. Especially against someone like Liverpool. But yeah, as I said, not his best. But again, probably taken out of his hands most of the time. Kevin De Bruyne pushed forward just behind Erling Haaland. He came close, said Simon, to scoring early on. He did after pouncing on a loose ball, and City's sharpest player set up the goal. I'll watch that back. I wasn't overly convinced it was a great chance that he could have done better, I think. Simon's given him a 7. In the US, I thought he looked up for it, on point, everything. I just thought it was a very frustrating day for him yesterday. I think he's shown his frustration. He's certainly shown his frustration with Ireland once or twice. So I've just given him a basic 6. I think obviously he's not in the same wavelength. I think he might have done a little bit better with a couple of things that he didn't. So as I say, without watching it back, and he wasn't really able to create any real magic or through balls, and he wasn't really able to create a lot. I'm not saying he didn't play the odd good ball, but any sort of shooting magic of his own, which is what we rely on. I thought not wasteful, but not quite worrying Adrian like he could have done. So yeah, Simon's given him a 7. I think a little bit over the top. We'll definitely give him a 7 for the US games, but this one I'll go back to a 6. Just a standard game for KDB. Do lots better. I think he knows he can. And on to Bernardo Silva now. Yeah, tirelessly defensively and also one of City's more creative players, said Simon when he carried the ball up the pitch. Well, you could probably write that most of the time, can't you, for Bernardo Silva? He's given him a 7. Yeah, this is where I was getting confused before. Yeah, I've given him a 6. I just thought he was a little bit off it. He did his tireless work, of course he did, but he torments Liverpool, doesn't he? He tried a couple of occasions. He didn't quite come off on the wings there. He tried to sort of beat one or two men. Didn't quite come off, but you can't ever doubt his tirelessness and his work rate. So just standard game for Bernardo without being anything overly special. On to Riyad Mahrez. Simon said guilty of being offside a few too many times. Well, I think we had 4 offsides. Was he offside for everyone? I'm not sure. And fudged a decent chance to equalise early in the second half. So Simon's giving him a 5. Yeah, and sadly, I'm going to give him a 5 as well. I was almost give him a 5.5, but on reflection, again, based on what I saw on the day, he was pretty nondescript. I mean, he had at least one chance. I think he had a couple of chances where just put your foot through it, mate. He tried to pass it into the net like he can do from distance into the top corner. But when you're close up like that, sometimes you just have to put your foot through the ball. And he did miss at least one good chance. And he was just a bit lacklustre throughout the game, I thought. And he never really worried Liverpool as much as perhaps we hoped he could. Just another typical Riyad Mahrez friendly game for me, and one of these where he disappears a little bit. So we both agree on that anyway. Simon give him a 5, I give him a 5. On to Jack Grealish. Yeah, never really troubled the Liverpool defence, said Simon, but has kept the confidence he picked up on the summer tour to look comfortable dribbling. Well, yeah, he's got loads of confidence. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, Simon's given him a 6. I've knocked half a point off. Not quite as bad as Mahrez, but it was just an early performance for me. Nothing ever really came off. I was saying on the US tour, he's got to improve his finishing. He's got to try and get stuff on target. And I think he had, I remember, at least one okay chance in this to do something, but he finished poorly. And it just nothing ever really came off. He never really overly panicked the Liverpool defence. So just what I'd call an early performance from Jack Grealish. I expect a lot from him this year, but it wasn't, Liverpool, it wasn't his sort of game. Nothing ever really came off for me. So I'll give him a 5.5. Simon give him a 6. And on to the last guys of the starting 11. Erling Haaland, Simon said, solid, didn't get much service, not quite on the same page as De Bruyne. There's no surprise there. But still forced a decent save from Adrian. Yeah, could he done better? I'll have a look later. And showed the potential that is evidently huge. So Simon will give him a 5, which again, like Mahrez, I mean, I was going to give him a 5.5, but I'm going to give him a 5 as well because there's one or two things. There's a questionable effort in the first half. I have watched a couple of highlights of it. I still think, and where he tried to sort of get his foot to something that surely was that he could have headed, a chance across the box, and it just looked to me as though it's perfect for his head, and he tried to do the foot. Now, what worries me about that is there a couple of times does he try and make things look a little bit spectacular? Is that what he was going for yesterday? There was at least another one where he was ready to do a flying side scissor kick, if you like, and obviously it was blocked and got out. And that's what worried me yesterday. A bit of a pose more than being efficient. And I don't want to see that. We know he's quite capable. I'm not going to go on about the miss. Of course, he was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have made any slightest bit of difference. But yeah, there's loads to come, isn't he? But I do feel yesterday he wanted to be the man, and he wasn't. So if he's got a good personality, he'll laugh about it and move on. I think I saw a picture of him laughing after that miss yesterday. So he'll laugh about it and move on, I'm sure. Early days, I'm sure we'll see lots and lots and lots. And he was doing okay. He worked hard. He's a big lumbering guy. Of course, we're not used to seeing that, and perhaps Samaras and Dzeko to some extent. I think going back in time, so it'll take us a while to get used to him. But yeah, so I say I've been a bit mean with a 5, but I think, as I say, if he just needs to, that'll do him good. That'll do him good, that game. I think yesterday to pull his sock up, and you have to be very big socks, don't they? But okay, it was all right. So it's not a disaster. The subs, Alvarez for Mahrez on 58. Yes, a debut goal off the bench earned him a huge hug from Haaland. Of course he did. I didn't think he should have been on the bench. So Pep, you should have started him. I told you before the game. But there you go. He's given him a 7. I don't often give subs a 7, but he scored a goal, so I'm going to give him an extra point. Yeah, so I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Took the goal well. Sniffer's goal, a poacher's goal. That's what we like to see. And it'll do him a lot of good. And he's come out of it with a lot of street cred, which is fair enough for Alvarez. As I said, I wouldn't have minded seeing him on his pace, which would have annoyed Liverpool from the start. But there you go. So I'll give him a 7. Simon give him a 7, so we agree on that one. Phil Foden for Grealish on 58. Simon said a terrific run and shot brought the equaliser. So let's give him a 7. Yeah, I'd give him a 6.5, 6.5. If he'd been on a bit earlier, perhaps. I mean, Liverpool don't like him. He likes playing against Liverpool, so I think Pep perhaps missed a trick. Should have perhaps changed it a little bit at half time, or 50 minutes, 10 minutes early or something like that. But first sort of taste of real football, isn't it, since May? So hey, we can't complain. Glad to see him come on anyway. Ilkay made the Scousers cry for De Bruyne on 74 minutes. Couldn't match his Aston Villa heroics. Bloody hell, Simon, he's pushing it there, mate. 6 out of 10 he's given. Yeah, I've given him a 6. A bit across the line stuff where he just helped the ball on more than did anything too much. I think he sat fairly deep, trying to allow Foden to move a little bit more forward. Certainly didn't know real replacement for KDB, but interesting that he kept KDB on basically for all the games in the US, and all of a sudden when it comes back to a big game like this, when he might be able to impact the last 20 minutes, he takes him off. That's Pep, isn't it? And protecting him, I suppose, in a way. So there you go, guys. Not used were Ortega, Phillips, Stones, Mbeti, Wilson, Esbrand and Palmer. Was a surprise that none of them were used. No, I wouldn't have minded seeing Phillips. And of course, for me, Stones can start every game, but it's never going to happen under Pep, so I'll have to give up on that one. So there you go, gut reaction. I'm not going as low as 4 as Simon did with one of the ratings there. I think that's not for this sort of game. Perhaps next week, perhaps when the action really starts. Some players did deserve a little less than the standard 6, and I've gone there. It's a friendly, basically. That's what it is. It's all about psychological, getting fit, getting your brain right, getting your head right, working hard and doing the things. And of course, next week it's all matter in match day 1, of course, against West Ham. That's where it'll come to the thought. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your player ratings. As I said, lots to come out soon. There'll be a talking point show where once I've watched the match back and had a quick look on social media, what people are saying, I've seen a lot of negativity, a lot of positivity, as you'd expect, and reflect on the game, taking in the game's rights, wrongs, VAR, winners and losers. I mean, obviously, I do think we should, if theirs was a penalty, I think we should have had a penalty as well, but we'll talk about that. Join me for the Citizen Channel Live on Monday night, the 1st of August, 7 p.m, please. We can chat about this game and we'll look forward to the West Ham game. So on for about an hour so we can get on. A few of you on last week. It'd be great to see you again this week. And anyone new, please get on and join me. It'd be great to have a chat about this and perhaps do some of our own little ratings or who was rubbish and who was good and just have a bit of a laugh, just have a bit of fun with it. Also on the channel next week, I look through the £5 Community Shield, which is up there, programme, 68-page match day programme. A quick look at anything interesting in that. And with the 7th of August match-up coming up with West Ham, a History Boys feature, which just takes us back, not to a game with West Ham, but a game, another City game on the 7th of August, but back in history. So join me for that this week. And of course, the preview and odd shows for match day 1 of the 22-23 Premier League season. West Ham versus Manchester City at the London Stadium. I can't get down there, but we'll have all the input and all the information. So let me know your comments, guys. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for your wonderful support. Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.